hit like, and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel.
Peace, family. This is your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. Welcome to Night School. Every night here on the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel, we hold Night School, where we break down the most controversial subjects, the most contested topics, the most engaged debates going on in the world today. And tonight is no different. We have just a panoply of important things to talk about. I know we're getting started late, and I apologize. Yesterday we couldn't go live, but unfortunately I had a very urgent family emergency that have been dealing with all week, and will be continuing to deal with. But we still here rocking, man. We're doing the best that we can with what we got, and I'm excited that y'all are here. It looks like some of y'all up watching the NFL draft. Some of y'all are paying attention to the gossip on the internet, and some of you are just up because y'all rocking with me. Whatever the reason, I'm grateful that y'all are here. I appreciate y'all, and I love y'all, and I love these jokes too. Yo, the fact that somebody is still in this chat with the name Pink Highlighter tells me how hilariously petty y'all are. I ain't mad at it at all. I ain't mad at it at all, y'all. I appreciate y'all. We're not going to stay here super long, but I wanted to give y'all an opportunity to engage with each other a little bit as I talk to you all, because again, I appreciate y'all. Slim Eddie, shout out to you. Ready for the smoke. Pink Highlighter is hilarious. Yo, love y'all. Peace to you, God. Yo, it's so many dope people here. We're just gonna keep the conversation going as you all come in. We'll continue to talk, but I do want to get started, get right to it. By the way, hit your name. You see, you know the vibes. You know what to do. If Yolu's already jumping in for us, if Yolu coming in from the Heights, drop in your name, drop in your city, and either your state or your country. Let us know where you're writing in. It's a global classroom, so some of y'all coming from the other side of the world, which is why y'all up. I appreciate y'all. Karen D, thank you for appreciating that better late than never thing, man. I've been trying my best to get to y'all as soon as possible, but again, duty be calling and life, and I appreciate Ryan Burden out there in San Diego at the school climate conference. Some of y'all will be at the AERA conference this year. I'll be out there as well. I'll also be in another event around race and schooling, I believe, in North Carolina in the next few days. So it's a few places I'm gonna be traveling all weekend. So I absolutely wanted to make sure that I had a chance to talk to y'all, reach out to y'all, see y'all. In the meantime, y'all, if you have questions, if you have comments, if you have thoughts, please make sure that you leave them in the comment well. And if you want to do some Q&A after I read these stories, drop something in the super chat. You know, if you drop something in the super chat, I will answer it always. I will always answer it at the end of the show if it's in the super chat. So doesn't mean I only answer super chats, but if it's in the super chat, I will always I'll always answer it. Bullet, I'll be in Charlotte. Man, where they coming in from? Muskegon, Michigan, man. So more to 314. And Twan Foster. Yo, M. Leonard Bay coming in from Detroit. And the thing is, if you're from Detroit, I ain't got to ask where you're from. I ain't never met a person from Detroit. It's not a black person anyway. They don't tell you they from Detroit within the first 2 minutes that you talk to them. You say, hey, I'm from Detroit. Sade from ATL, Tiffany Jones from Philadelphia. Oh man, Mark, you ever done working Harlem? There's some stuff in Harlem, man. You know, I worked in Morningside, so you know, for 4 or 5 years actually. Yeah. Anyway, let's get to it. I know we got work to do. We're gonna be here for a good time, not a long time. France finally says the quiet part out loud, which is that Haiti got hustled for its own freedom. On the 200-year mark of the dirty 1825 indemnity deal, President Emmanuel Macron admits that Paris slapped the newborn Black Republic with a ransom, which today would be worth billions, literally billions with a B, a bill Haiti kept paying until 1947. But peep the finesse here. Macron forms a feel-good history commission, but he doesn't say a word about the other side of that analysis. Let me put it differently. It's one thing to acknowledge that you took people money. It's one thing to acknowledge the economic exploitation and the extraction. But what does it mean to do all that if you ain't gonna say a cotton picking word, no pun intended, about cutting a reparations check? Haiti is bleeding right now. 85% of Port-au-Prince is overtaken by gangs, and I don't want to romanticize gangs, but also don't want to state, who and what gangs are in the context of Haiti, because they're more like a paramilitary force, so it's complicated. But the point is, Port-au-Prince is in crisis. Haiti is in crisis. It's not because Haitians can't govern themselves. It's because of Western imperial intervention. You got kids joining crews just to eat. You got 1 million people who are sleeping homeless. And while all of this is happening, Paris is barely taking accountability, slow walking accountability. Paris is reneging on any kind of democratic commitment or promise, any kind of morally upright position. And while Paris is doing that, Paris is also thriving, and Port-au-Prince is burning. And China says that the United States is in on it by engaging in what they call economic bullying and lax gun control policies. Gangs, again, are controlling 85% of the capital, and they're pushing into what were once safe zones like Delmas, Pétionville, even busting open prisons in Mirabelais, I believe it's, yeah. UN envoy Maria Isabel Salvador warns that it is a deliberate, coordinated war for territory. Let's look at February to March of this year, 2025. Over 1,000 people were killed, around 400 people injured. 60,000 newly displaced people were produced or created. On top of the 1 million people who are already homeless, health clinics were shuttered. 900 plus schools were closed. Cholera is spreading. Sexual violence is spiking. Haitians are forming neighborhood defense squads while begging the world for real help. The Kenya-led multinational security support mission is approved but starved of troops and of cash. Salvador's message to the UN Security Council? It was a blunt message, a necessarily blunt message. No support, no state. We're at the point of no return. No support, no state. We're at the point of no return. Now, I want to be clear about a couple of things here, because not all Haitians support the idea of UN intervention. They certainly don't support boots on the ground. Some people want the UN out, America out, France out. Others say, of course, America and France, we want you out, but we'll take some UN support as long as it's not troops and boots on the ground. There's different perspectives here, and I want to be very clear about what's going on in Haiti, because it's complicated. And Western media has framed a narrative that the problem is corrupt Haitians and violent gangs, and it's more complicated than that. But anyway, none of it matters if there's no reparations. Truth without reparations doesn't build nations, doesn't rebuild nations, doesn't stop bullets. And here's the thing, if Haiti were to collapse, and I don't believe it will, because I believe in not just the power and sovereignty of the Haitian people, but the capacity to produce extraordinary things. But if Haiti were to collapse, the fallout would be landing on everybody, every shore, every house, every nation. And so if we're in a place where Europe is confessing its crimes, but not paying the payout, then we got to ask what Haiti's going to look like in a couple of months, or a couple of years, or a couple of decades. At the end of the day, acknowledging what you did and not holding yourself accountable for the reparations, it's just a bunch of PR. And Haiti does not need that. Whew. I'm so frustrated. So frustrated. Jeff Metcalf, by the way, writes in and says, I'm sorry, Ryan Bearden writes in and says, Jeff Metcalf rejected the use of his son's image and name at the Protect White Americans protest, hoping it's a moment to educate and organize. Good for him. Again, there are moments where parents have to intervene and just say no. There are moments where people have to intervene and say, look, your personal development, your growth, your freedom, your liberty, as the right likes to say, it needs to be challenged. Not saying people don't right to make their own choices, but it's okay to challenge people on the choices they're making. Dominique Good, welcome to the channel. She just joined as a new night school member. You don't know how grateful I am that you have done that. I appreciate you. Let's jump to another story, though, because we got a lot to cover in a short amount of time. The Trump administration has weaponized civil rights enforcement. Surprise, surprise. They've done so for their own agenda. Trump and his henchmen just forced top lawyers from the Justice Department Civil Rights Division out of their jobs. These are people who have been enforcing civil rights for decades. They're making the division instead focus on culture war issues like banning what they call men and women's sports, which is just another trans antagonism, and stopping, quote, radical indoctrination in schools, which of course is just about teaching about, I don't know, history, truth, justice, whatever. So the new Justice Department, the Trump Justice Department, Civil Rights Division, they ain't got nothing to say about protecting voters or fighting housing discrimination. Ironically, or paradoxically, it's a civil rights division that's attacking civil rights. Even folks on the inside of the division, some of them are speaking off the record, and they're calling it a, quote, bloodbath, as veteran lawyers are getting reassigned to pointless roles. And now, instead of prosecuting hate crimes or police brutality, they're looking into gun rights violations and determining whether colleges are tolerating anti-Semitism. Now, let's be clear. Gun rights should not be violated. I believe in the value of the Second Amendment. I believe that people have a right to defend themselves in their homes. But we're at a moment where between the gun lobby and Trump's people, they make it seem as if any attempt to promote or ensure or enforce responsible gun ownership and to limit the amount of guns that are out in the world and to certainly limit gun violence, they're saying any efforts to do that is an attack on the Second Amendment, it's an attack on the Constitution, it's an attack on your liberty. And so they spend all their time investigating that. And same point for anti-Semitism. I believe we absolutely should be challenging any institution, not just colleges and universities, but any institution that is, quote unquote, tolerating anti-Semitism. But the problem is they're not actually looking to end anti-Semitism. In fact, many people in the Trump administration and many of the messages from Trump's campaign and his presidency and his campaign and his new presidency, a lot of them have trafficked in anti-Semitic language and discourse. And so, yes, they are pro-Israel and also deeply anti-Semitic, and that is the problem. But now the Justice Department is focusing on those people's interests and needs, and by those people, I mean the anti-Semites and the gun extremists. And they're also framing any support of Palestine or Palestinian rights and Palestinian self-determination and Palestinian nationhood, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're framing that as definitionally anti-Semitic. So they make it so that everything is bad. Everything that they like is now protected by civil rights, and everything that we need isn't. They're literally re-engineering how civil rights are enforced in America. If the Civil Rights Division, which has been fighting for equal protection under the law since 1957, is now being repurposed to fight these stupid culture war battles, you can bet it's going to leave marginalized communities even more vulnerable. This is a clear signal of the lengths that the Trump administration is willing to go to rewrite the rules when it comes to who gets protections and who gets ignored. Regular folks, especially regular folks in marginalized communities, minority communities, racial minority communities, and especially, they need to understand how these changes will affect their rights and how the current moment is being used, weaponized even against them. Now, it's not just this moment. It's not just this administration. It's not just this political current. It's all of the system. But at this moment, the stakes are high. We can't pretend that this moment is just like every other moment, because it is not. Kali at JNS Nakta University said, I think Haiti should become the 51st state of the United States. I hear you. The problem with that, the same argument we have when we talk about Puerto Rico, is that the Haitian people are a sovereign people. Bring them as a 51st state is a colonizing move. I know that's not your intention or your thought process on this. You want Haiti to get protection and safety. And there's a way that you could argue. One could argue that after economically exploiting Haiti, the United States owes a special debt to Haiti. I mean, France owes an even bigger one. But the best thing that the United States could do is to hold space, create space for the Haitian people to hold their own free and fair elections again, where they have the economic resources to build or rebuild the economy, and that they would have the proper diplomatic relationships with the United States and the rest of the Western world. That's what they can do. If they don't want to do that, they can stay out the way, yo. They can stay out the way. Kylie follows up and says, yes, I argue for their protection and sovereignty first and foremost. That's right. I know you did, girl. Smoking Out Loud said, I bumped into Ayanna Presley today and reminded our good sister to keep giving them help. Those, yeah. Shout out to Ayanna Presley. You know, I know her well and appreciate her. She's dope people. She's good people, man. Super dope. So shout out to her. Let's talk about the University of Michigan for a second, man. So I can put this. So the University of Michigan just did a straight up Uno reverse card on the whole DEI ban situation. Now, after axing their Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion last month, and of course we know that that department was axed because of, you know, all the pressure the Trump administration applied to them. Well, now a month later, they're turning the tables. Instead of just cutting programs, they're doubling down on support for students who are trying to make a real impact in communities. Starting this fall, the Go Blue Guarantee, it's not just covering tuition for in-state students who have family incomes that fall under $125,000 a year, although that would be certainly enough. They're also covering housing and fees for those who are pursuing degrees in nursing, education, and social work. This is a game changer, especially for folks who are looking to serve their communities, but we're worried that, well, if I serve the community, I'm going to have so much debt and I can't afford to pay it off. I can't service the debt, etc. But now this creates an out for those people. So while some schools are trimming back, Michigan is flipping the script and investing in the future of public service, which I love. This move is a blueprint for how institutions can respond to political pressure by redirecting resources to where they're needed the most. By investing in future nurses and future teachers and future social workers, they're addressing critical shortages in essential public services. This approach also challenges the narrative that cuts DEI programs, or I'm sorry, let me say that differently, that cutting DEI programs are the only way that we could move forward, the only way that we can be economically solvent and democratically proper or fair, whatever you want to call it, right? Because that's the narrative, right? That the only way to fix the university, the only way to fix the corporation, the only way to fix the national economy and education system is to just slash on DEI programs. It's the only way forward. But what we see from Michigan is something different. It's clear that if you make a targeted investment in education and you sincerely or at least intensely engage in community service, we can see some change in our individual communities, in our broader communities, and in the national community, where however you think about nationhood. Point is, when Trump and them come banning stuff, we got to make choices. We got to make decisions. Do we lay down or do we fight back? Well, Michigan fought back. It looks like they're winning. So salute to them, and let's keep going. That's it. Any Q&As before we go? These allergies are crazy, y'all. Also, have y'all seen Sinners yet? I need to know what y'all think of the film. Also, Shador Sanders has not been picked yet. I'm very fascinated by that and a little surprised. So everybody's saying he might be the number one pick in the draft. It was number 5, it was number 10, it was number 20. You know, people saying all kinds of things. Now it looks like he's not going to get drafted in the first round. And I'm not saying he should or shouldn't. I know nothing about football. What I do know is this ain't the plan that people have for him. That I know for sure. Anyway, let's see if y'all got any more questions for the boy. No, I don't see anything. So I'm gonna bid y'all adieu. Ryan Vernon said Sinners was amazing. JR7777 said it was fire. Said he saw it twice. You know, Mike, it's within the statute of limitations. I'm not gonna ruin a movie. Sorry, I'm scratching because these allergies. Jesus. I won't ruin it, but I think y'all, I'm not even sleepy really. My eyes just itching from allergies. I'm like actually like super wide awake. I'm actually going to go work for an hour or two. Now when I start trying to write, that's probably when I'll doze off. But Dominique, I'm with you. She said, I understand how people have full thought pieces on it already. People be writing their thought pieces before they even consume the art. I swear to God, people be writing some of their takes before the album even come out, before they even get to listen to it. You know, when it comes to movies, same thing. Of course you can ask the book. Again, no question has to be a paid question. I'm just saying if I have to choose, I give priority to super chats. And I love when y'all do super chats because it allows us to stay in business. But if you just have a question, of course you can ask it. And it's Bullet the Bunny. So Bullet the Bunny can ask anything she wants whenever she wants. Dime. Dímelo. Yo, pink highlighter jazz LP is also hilarious. Hey, Dallas's finest jazz LPs in the building. Yeah, I don't know why the alerts are coming up slow like that. Because it's been 20 minutes and you just get here. That's wild. Yeah. I'm not sure why. He takes naps during the breaks. Yo, I don't think I'm above that, but I'm not today. I'm actually wide. Again, I'm super wide awake. My eyes are just freaking killing me. You and Rollin Cool never see you on each other's platforms. Rollin's used to come on the Griot, and I've been on Rollin Show. It's honestly more of a time thing because everybody's busy. I think I was on Rollin Show last year. What's funny is I spoke to Rollin yesterday. That's the funny part. People assume like if you don't like do make content with people that y'all aren't cool. Rollin gives me advice. Rollin has taught me a lot about TV, taught me a lot about media. You see here? This Rollin, he called, make sure his number's not up. Yeah. We talked for 19 minutes yesterday. 19 minutes. We had a great, and the only reason we got the phone was because he had to go on air. Live. Rollin and I talk all the time. And we laugh, we joke, we share memes and all that stuff. He's dope. I appreciate y'all. Let's see. I'm waiting for can you interview the rapping professor from Philly? Yeah, I'd love to. He has an open invitation. You're talking about Aaron. I know Aaron. Aaron is somebody who I have given advice. Night baby. Advice and mentorship and support for his entire time at Temple, even before he was a professor there. So yeah, that's my guy. It's absolutely my guy. I'd love to have more. Rollin had a great show today. I'll make sure I check it out. But the bunny said, did I miss part of the question? About parable of talent. It reads like a prophecy with the exception of the community and communication and social media. How do you think that changes the language? I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you say a little bit more? With the exception of the communication and the social media. It reads like a... Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I think I see. Actually say a little bit more. I want to make sure I understand. Yo, my eyes are burning. Yo. My wife just walked past me. She's going to bed. I should told her to bring me some Zyrtec. Did you see Sinners? What did you think? Yeah, I saw it. I'm gonna give a longer breakdown on the Joe Budden podcast tomorrow, I guess. But I thought it was I thought it was well done. I have some critiques. It's not my style of movie. I don't do horror. I don't do thrillers. You know what I mean? So it's not something I would have just gone to see just because of the plot. But when I was in there, I was into it. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a great deal. I will watch it again. No notes. No significant notes. Pink highlighter, thank you. She sent, or that, I don't know if it's a man or woman. Pink highlighter said, not a question. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate you. Karen said, why did you call Charlamagne regarding DJ? You know, I was trying to figure out how to handle a situation. And I thought someone who knows him well and is friends with him would be a good person to ask. And somebody who I'm friends with who can give me insight on how I should handle something, particularly when I was upset. I was on 10 at the time. So I was like, yo, let me ask somebody who can give me some insight. Now there's a part of me that asked at least 2 of those 3 people a question because I thought they were telling me what I wanted to hear, but they didn't. They all gave me good advice, which is, I think, what friendship should be about. Dominique Good said, I have a question about your thoughts about applying for pardons in the current climate. I'm innocent but scared to become a target because I heavily support Palestine. I mean, look, that's a legitimate concern. And for some of you who are saying, well, you know, it's a state, I'm assuming the pardon you're looking for is a state pardon or is it a federal pardon? But either way, obviously, if it's a federal pardon, you already know what it's hitting for in the Trump administration. But even at the state level, we're seeing more and more legislation. We're seeing more and more public policy more broadly that is sort of saying that you can't have a critique of Israel if you want to continue to get public funds. We just saw grants, a couple grants do that. We saw something else. There was one of the departments, another department, I should say, in the Trump administration has also basically declared the same thing. It's a lot. Pink highlighted Jazz up. He said, Mark, please consider treating your eye allergies as if they had been pepper sprayed. May I suggest milk? It's not a bad idea. It is not a bad idea. I got milk, so maybe I'll try that. If they don't, I was just gonna rinse my eyes and call it a day. Usually that works. Once I take the antihistamine, I'm usually fine. But I'm in a moment where your boy is struggling, Jazz. Do you and Amanda Seals have any content plans together? Not at the moment, but we will. I mean, you know, that's my ace. So, you know, I think I've been on her show a couple of times. I know I went this calendar year, maybe around February, March. I just don't remember. Actually, maybe it wasn't. I can't remember. I know I was supposed to do one last month, and I think it didn't work out. Scheduling stuff, and then I did something in the fall with her. But yeah, I love to do stuff with Amanda. That's my ace. Do you amalgamate the Black liberation movement and the LGBTQ rights movement as being the same in their pursuit of equality? And just I don't know what that means. I mean, I understand all the words you're saying, but are they the same? I mean, I think all justice movements are the same to the extent that they're interested in justice, but I never want to conflate one movement's aims and interests and context with another. So I'm not saying one is more important or less important. I'm just saying movements are different, and I don't know how. I don't find it helpful personally to try to compare them in that way. That's what I would say. One second, y'all. Apparently, I got work to do here. Another thing to think about is that Black folk have LGBTQ people among them, and LGBTQ communities have Black folk among them, right? That these aren't discrete categories where the gays are over here and the Blacks are over there, or the lesbians over here and the Negroes over there. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work that way. So we have to also think about the intersections of these things, or as other feminist scholars have talked about, this idea of multiple jeopardies, right? Like, how do we understand the various ways that people are positioned in the world by virtue of these different identity categories? It's an important thing to think about. So I guess my short answer is no, but probably not in the way that you mean it. Because a lot of times when people say we shouldn't see them as the same, they really just mean gay rights are not as important as Black rights, or trans rights aren't as important as such and such. You get what I'm saying? And that's not what I'm saying at all. You seem to circumvent the question. I don't see how I'm circumventing the question. I think I've answered it. Maybe I didn't give the answer you wanted. You specifically asked if they And you used the word amalgamate, which I didn't think was the right word. So I also made an assumption about what you were asking. If you're asking if we should combine them, if amalgamate was the right word, and you mean like we should combine them, the Black Liberation Movement and the LGBTQ rights movement as as one big movement, or if it's because you say do I, you're asking as like a normative question, like if as a matter of practice I do that, I would say no. I don't see them as the same movement, but I see them as having tremendous overlaps and intersections. I think I'm answering your question. I don't know. All right, y'all. Any other questions? Right, Vera said, any questions or any updates on Mumia? How is he doing? Mumia's doing well. I talked to Mumia last week. We've been playing a little phone tag, but that's just life when people are incarcerated. We're always trying to catch folk, and folk are always trying to catch us more appropriately, more accurately. So we're doing the best we can. But Moo's great. He sounded good. He sounded healthy. He sounded strong. He's engaged with some projects that have him excited right now. We're going to start doing a classroom in the cell again. I have a bunch of old episodes that I just haven't posted. Yeah, Moo's great. His I don't know, for those of you who are like birthday heads, Mumia turned what year is this? He turned 70 last year is the point. Actually his birthday was, oh my God, I didn't get a chance to talk to him obviously because I can't call him, but his birthday was today. That just ended. If on the West Coast it's still his birthday for a little bit longer, but yeah, it's Mumia Abu-Jamal's birthday. I wouldn't be surprised if Mark is apprehensive to take a Benadryl because he knows that it makes him sleepy and he's not afraid to sleep. Yo, I mean, it's not a bad theory, Jazz. I would take one right now because I need to go to sleep at some point, and so it would wear me down. But that's generally the right answer. And I have Claritin as well that isn't non-drowsy, but I don't want to do nothing right now. Appreciate that, Tracy. Are you trolling? Oh, you're talking to somebody else. I was like, Riverside? I wasn't even at Riverside. I thought you were Riverside Church. I was so confused. Okay, I think we're good. My eyes, I think the burning has stopped. All right, let's see if we got one or two more questions. Please get some rest, Dean reset. Please. I promise you I'm not. I know it seems like I promise you I'm not. I'm literally going to work. But what I am is my eyes are like, I need to get up and get this. Zero take. I'm gonna keep talking to you. Maybe I won't. I was actually going to launch another live to talk about what's his name? Shannon Sharp. Y'all interested in that? If I were to at the end of the stream launch another one to talk about Shannon Sharp, would y'all hang out with me for about 15 minutes? Would y'all be down with that? Karen D said, can we get Van back on the show? Yeah, absolutely. Van Lathan, that is not Van Jones. I love that. I've invited Van. We had a couple dates set up. We just kind of, the scheduling got thrown off, but absolutely. Van Lathan has an open invitation here when he's not trolling me in the comments. All right, here's what I'll do. I'll log off of this one and I will, no, I don't wear contacts. That's the crazy part. This is all just bad eyes. All right, I'm going to set up another special thing on Shannon Sharp on the channel. I'll be up in 5 minutes. Sound good? It's 1:03 a.m. Eastern time. I'll be up at 1:10, just so we have a clear and exact time. All right, y'all. Anyway, family, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're so inclined, hit the join button and become a member of the channel, a monthly paid member of the channel. Your support gives us the financial stability we need to do the work that we do in the world. Also, so I got to do stuff like talk when I can't see. Well, yo, that's a solid solid interpretation of what I just said with the budget. But I promise you, it really is going to be 110 because I do have to get up in the morning and stuff, and I don't want to sleep deprive myself, so I'm going to jump on and off. But in general, that's a fair interpretation. I can't get mad at that. But anyway, I'll see y'all, family. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're so inclined, hit the join button. Also, if you don't want to make a permanent commitment or an ongoing commitment, you can always go to one of these places and drop something in our change plate. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. I prefer Cash App and Venmo, but you can do any of the four: Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle, and drop something in. You can drop $1, you can drop $1 million, you can drop anything in between. We're grateful for all of it. No amount is too big, no amount is too small. But the ideal situation would be if everybody watching right now were to donate $5. If everybody watching right now donates $5, we are able to close out this month with some great momentum and pay our bills without any strain or stress. So please consider it. Please consider it. Please consider it. I appreciate y'all. Anyway, up next, I'll be back on in a few minutes to talk about Shannon Sharp.